That's the trilogy finally finished. I feel content, but also a little sad that it's now over. Dark Souls 3, released in 2016 and developed by From Software and published by Bandai Namco as always. The culmination of a trilogy that started out great, then took an unfortunate step down, so the stakes were damn high when it was time for this to make the series whole. Oh, and I know that Bloodborne came out a year prior, but since it's still not on Steam after 10 long years...
Has it really been 10 years?
Unfortunately, yes.
I can't really play it or review it. Thanks Sony, holding hostage Dad, Demon's Souls, and demanding $850 for a PS5 Pro. Fuck you guys. And if you're curious to hear what I had to say about the previous games, links to both of them will be in the description below. So, the plot is quite literally the same as it was preceding time, so no real need to discuss it beyond that of you're a dude. A dude named Rick Arted. Yeah, I used the more spicier no-no words already, so you gotta work what you got. And again, 99.9% of all things and people around want you dead. I've never been interested in the stories in these games, and I most likely never will. And considering that besides the opening, ending, and occasional boss introduction, once more there's like 10 to 15 minutes of actual cutscenes, so no biggie. Though I did enjoy some of the callbacks, specifically the ones to Dark Souls 1, fighting more of the members of the Gwyn family tree, revisiting Honor Orlando, and doing tango with our old Dragon Slayer buddy. For the third time.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
First and foremost, I want to get into new aspects, as well as the things that were improved upon from Dark Souls 2, starting with the skills, aka weapon arts. These are special moves for weapons that cost you focus points, the resource that's usually used to cast spells. I'll give you a few examples of the kind of stuff we're cooking with. The Claymore has a stance which allows you to do guard-breaking slashes, while the Battle Axe's Warcrack gives you temporarily increased attack after a bit of shouting.
Holy shit!
Even though all weapons don't have unique skills, far from it, like Warcries on 14 separate weapons. That's still a fantastic addition, giving the weapons so much more uniqueness to them, as well as offering a reason to put levels into attunement, even though you might never cast a single spell during your run, like me. Oh, and while we're on the subject of stats, adaptability is gone. And it took agility with it.
Yeah, bitch!
We won.
I've never been happier.
Words cannot explain how glad I am to see that stupid piece of shit stat removed entirely. Upgrade your flask drinking speed and invincibility frames. Suck me sideways. It was a brand new stat that did get added though. Luck. Straight up, if you want to raise item discovery, here you go. I personally stayed away from it. Not my style, and quite frankly with that stupidly good luck I had naturally here. Why bother? Circling back to the Estus flasks, you start with 3 here instead of 0. There's the addition of Ashen Estus which refill FP instead of HP. The beautiful part is that you can choose how many of your flasks are regular or Ashen. Like I wouldn't get much out of refilling my focus points, so I just chose to have them all as regular ones. Once more, a beautiful but simple way of offering variety of viable options depending on how you want to play. And last bit about the flask, the icon changes visibly depending how much you have left in it. Now yes, the icon would change if you ran out in the previous games, but it's really nice how you can determine if you're starting to run low on flask without even needing to look at a small number in the corner.
Ooh, that's kind of small.
Of course, I have to also bring up weapon infusion, allowing you to change the properties, damage type, or scaling on your equipment. It can be more simple, like the refined gem reducing base damage, but adding strength and dexterity scaling, or quite the curveballs like the chaos gem, reducing base damage, strength and dexterity scalings, but adding faith and intelligence scalings as well as fire damage to boot. If you got the imagination, you can get up to some absolute crackhead builds with these things. And would you believe that even a basic bitch player such as myself found something to his liking? Allow me to express it in mathematical terms. The Great Axe plus Heavy Gem equals big fucking dick damage. The weapon durability was also upped. Not a single time was I even in slight danger of having my stuff break this time around. And just generally the gameplay smoother and better than ever before, along with the hitboxes being less clunky. There's plenty other things that were improved upon here, like bosses and level design, but they deserve their own sections. Moving on to the areas, once more there's so much variety here. Firelink offers such a somber and melancholic feeling whenever you go back to it, which you will go back to quite often as it's the main hub, and the only place you can level up at. Okay, seriously, was that some kind of controversial design choice in Dark Souls 1? Being able to level up at any bonfire so quickly and easily just made the game flow amazingly. Oh well, at least they put Firelink as a quick option always at the bottom. It assumes you want to go back to where you came from, so it automatically suggests that place first. Oddly, just like in Majula, I always want to go see a specific, wonderful large-chested individual in addition to leveling up. Though here it's because of Andre, the absolute giga-chat of all blacksmiths. Wait a minute. Is that? Shut the fuck up. Daddy. I've missed you. And in Dark Souls 2, it was because of, well...
Mommy milkers, big mommy milkers, big huge milkers, and huge big milkies.
I regret nothing. The end.
Just generally almost all the areas are a pleasure to explore. High Wall of Lothric is the essential castle level where you get used to basic feeling of the game, steadily finding your way through the towers and battling basic enemies to get a feel of what's to come later. The Undead Settlement is what I'd describe as peacefully creepy, with it being a rundown farming village that's littered with corpses, fire, corpse cages that occasionally aren't quite dead yet.
Yep.
Oh god. Jesus. And all the townfolk looking so screwed up, making you wonder what the hell happened here. The retail of the Boreal Valley is just so beautiful to look at. A subdued and calm winter evening set in an early modern European city with a bit of gothic flair, then contrasting that peacefulness with the enemies that are absolutely out for blood and adept in different types of magic to keep you on your toes big time.
Oh no! Gotcha, bitch!
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it.
Then Irretel Dungeon is pure, unadulterated creepiness. A dark, dank jail that's patrolled by all manner of nightmare-filled creatures and these horrid jailers. And when I say horrid, I'm not even talking about their appearances. It's that when they hold up their lanterns, they straight up decrease your max HP. Oh my god, the panic I felt when realizing how far it can truly go.
I'm in danger!
Yikes.
If that's not enough, I nearly shat myself when I just entered the damn place. Oh, that's... Jesus Christ.
In fact, I did shit myself.
The one big hiccup is fair and keep. Getting poisoned all the time is at worst a minor inconvenience, but it just takes so long to get through the damn thing. It keeps throwing basilisks at you, which wouldn't be so bad if you didn't run out of stamina constantly. But you most likely are gonna constantly run out of stamina since you're rolling through, and you are gonna be rolling if you wanna get through the damn place before our solar system sun becomes a white dwarf. The areas themselves are far bigger here than ever before, so if you have a sense of direction of a blind Down syndrome suffering 8-year-old, like moi, you might be getting a little lost. Not a downside of the game, just be wary. Though no matter the era, it's visually stunning all around. It's bittersweet looking at games that came out around 2015-16. This, Arkham Knight, Phantom Pain, etc., and just realized that that was the time when the graphical overall standards were at their highest. Now, I'm not saying some newer games don't look better, I'm just saying that the average around then was a whole lot better than it's now.
Holy Jesus.
And then we come to my favorite thing about these games, the reason that drives me to keep moving forward no matter what comes my way. The bosses. At first I was a bit surprised by the amount. DS2 boasted 42 all in all when including DLCs, DS3 25 in total. Thankfully, this is a quality over quantity kind of situation. So many good ones. Dancer of the Boreal Valley, Champion Gundyr, Pointed Slivan, and my personal number one was Slave Knight Gale. It's about as close to being a perfect fight as it could be. Just I would have made it a smidge more harder, personally. The arena is wide open, so trouble with the camera is minimized, battle music is on point as always, his attacks come in a variety of forms, and all of them are telegraphed just enough where dodging them feels good and satisfying, and whenever you do get hit, it feels 100% justified.
It was perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
But make no mistake, these are also some of the hardest bosses. 3 of the most difficult ones in these games I've come across. Those being Dark Eater Meteor, Demon in Pain / Below, and His Highness, the Nameless King. Nope, Frida didn't make the cut. Great fight, but she's not that hard. Got her on my 3rd try. Changed my mind. But Jesus H. Christ, the Nameless King took me more than 2.5 hours of stream time and over 40 tries. This guy was my personal Battle of Verdan.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Okay, see, the joke is that Battle of Verdan was the longest battle of the First World War, lasting over 300 days and costing almost 1/3 lives. Because World War I, Dark Souls, close enough. Oh, I came close to giving in quite a few times, but the inspiring words of Masuoka Shutso kept me going, as if he wouldn't give up while harvesting clams. Neither would I here.
Never give up!
Unlike in Dark Souls 2, 1, and Demons, there isn't a single boss here that I would call outright terrible, though a few ones were less than stellar. Like the Deacons of the Deep is at the end of the day pretty boring spam of middle-of-the-road enemies, but by far the biggest eyebrow raiser was the Ancient Wyvern. It's not even a fight. You get through the area, dodging his fire breath, dealing with regular enemies, until you get high enough to deliver an insta-kill attack on it. What was the point? I did not foresee experiencing flashbacks to Dragon God, but here we are. One amazing thing about the bosses is that they each possess at least 2 phases. Well, apart from the one that gets insta-killed.
Now that's a lot of damage!
Of course, this in itself isn't anything new in the series, but think for a second. What were some of the best bosses we'd seen in the previous installments? I'd say the best from 1 is Ornstein and Smog, while the best from 2 is the Smelter Demon. And what do they have in common? They are multi-phase fights. Of course, there's so much more that made them fantastic, but it certainly is a good aspect to offer to each of the bosses here. Certainly what also adds the greatness of the bosses here is the music. I mean, these games have always had good music, but the OST here, dare I say, better than any other Soulsborne game I've played so far. It's remarkable how well the songs are able to mix and match different aspects of inevitable impending dread, epicness of high-stakes combat where one wrong move spells disaster, but with always some hint of grandiose optimism that just might wait around the corner this time. If I had to pick out the best one here, it would most certainly be Wart of the Boreal Valley. It just hits so fucking hard, and it's overwhelming in all the best possible ways.
Divine.
It might not come as a surprise that I think Dark Souls 3 is the best one of the trilogy. Great bosses, fantastic music, more customization options like with the gems, and just plainly improving on a lot of things that were bogging down Dark Souls 2, like the enemy spam, adaptability, and the inconsistencies. Though weirdly fucky things will still happen once in a blue moon. Huh? Shield I have. Okay. Oh. Are you? Why am I stuck?
What the hell?
I'm stuck! Oh, I'm liking this shortcut.
It's good.
Wait. But it's definitely the most stable these games have ever been overall. And minus a few minor occasions, runbacks are nearly a thing of the past altogether. If there is one thing I do miss, it is power stancing. Fine, there goes 1 coin in the 2 is better than 3 jar. 1. That's actually an oddly common pattern when it comes to game trilogies. First one is good, the second one is inferior to some extent, and then the third is the best of them all. Castlevania, Metal Gear Solid, Devil May Cry, Final Fantasy, Super Mario Bros. Of course, how much of a step down the second one is differs quite a bit with these examples, but it is a particularly interesting pattern to me. One thing that's for certain though, is that the Dark Souls trilogy is the gaming trilogy of the 2010s. There is nothing I can think of that made as much of an impact during that decade. With all that said, this deserves a 9 out of 10 from me. If you like the previous ones even remotely, you'll have a good time here. And no, I don't think it's the best just because it was the first time I was able to defeat a human invader. Just partially. Get this shit off me! Ah! But hey, be on the lookout this upcoming autumn for my first time playing Sekiro on stream. Goodbye.